And welcome everybody to the Chop Sports Fight Factory. That's right, the Chop Sports Fight Factory. That actually rolls off the tongue well. Live from Matawan, New Jersey, here at the Cabinet Creation Sports Desk, brought to you by Dudes Gourmet and the Feel Good Factory. I can't believe I actually got that.
And we're broadcasting live from the Flipping Made Easy studio.
Oh, that's right.
God
so I didn't get it.
That's all right, but you came close.
But I'm being honest, I wrote it all down and I didn't write down Flipping Made Easy, so I got it.
Well, Flipping does make easy. It does.
As far as I'm concerned, I got it. But
you did get it.
Bro,
to an extent.
We got myself. We got Wrestling Rob.
Rob's on
I'm not going to be mean to Tommy. It's just the Reverend today. And then we got Dave all the way to my left. Welcome, boys. How we doing?
Good.
I got a question.
Uh-oh.
With as many name changes as this show has, are we going to eventually be a symbol like Prince?
This is, in fact, look, the Chop Heads Combat Sports podcast was a lot, right? And we were like, we got to rebrand this. There's potential to go on different networks. There's a potential to brand this thing our own. And I think, when you look at like what Chop Sports has going on, it's like a factory. It's a mill of all sorts of media. So we are the Chop Sports Fight Factory. This is MMA coverage. This is pro wrestling coverage.
The name is perfect for what
the name is definitely perfect.
I do like going on. And really, the Chop Heads MMA, that rolled off the tongue a lot better than Chop Heads Combat Sports. When we branded Chop Heads, that was for strictly MMA. But now that we're doing the wrestling, we can't really go with Chop Heads anymore.
Yeah, it didn't mesh.
It didn't vibe. It didn't.
Also,
vibe.
The world's at war. Chop heads. You don't want to cut.
So we got a busy show. Obviously, WrestleMania is this weekend. We had a lackluster, but it did deliver. The card itself wasn't a bad card, but they didn't promote it again. And we have the UFC to cover. But first, bro, do you think that Will Smith will be hearing from the California State Athletic Commission anytime soon? Because I'm
curious to know what division he's going to fight in.
There is no way that fight gets sanctioned. Chris Rock is very small compared to
Will frail.
Smith,
he's frail looking, yeah.
But Chris Rock got a chin, bro.
Bro, he took that like a champion and
smiled all the way through.
Which leads everybody to believe that it's bullshit, but nobody knows.
Well, no, it is bullshit.
I mean, you say it's bullshit. You say it's bullshit too?
Oh, absolutely.
No, see, I think it was real.
That had WWE written all over it. But it's funny. I read a funny stat today that Will Smith and Jorge Masvidal both have significant strikes in their last fight, the same amount. Unbelievable.
Wow.
I like that a lot, actually.
Wow.
That's really funny. Really funny.
Do you think Will Smith gets in trouble?
No.
So Chris Rock is not pressing charges, but the thing about this situation is that there's like over millions of witnesses. So
13 million to be exact.
I'm pretty sure you don't need to press charges when there's a crime committed and there's 13 million witnesses, but he got his trophy. To me, that lends to the idea that it was staged. And this is, after all, a pro wrestling podcast and pro wrestling show. We can't even call it a podcast anymore. It's a pro wrestling show. And the fact that we're not in unison on believing that this is a possible screw job here or a setup. Come on, guys. What are we talking about?
Chris Rock leaned into it too.
Oh,
and that was a limp wristed ass slap.
He no-sold the shit out of it.
Right.
Did I use that term right?
Yes, you absolutely used it right. If they wanted to stage it, he should have hit the deck. Rock should have hit the ground, not
The only thing about that didn't seem staged to me was his reaction after, where he literally did fumble over his words. But I didn't get slapped in my face in the beginning of this show, and I'm fumbling over my words right now. So there's
take care of that shit, Tommy.
That's a normal thing to. I guess also they're actors, bro. Like, this is an Oscar. This is the Oscars. You know what they do at the Oscars, right? They give awards to guys that are good at acting, right? And guys that are also good at writing scripts for shows and movies. Not shows, it's just movies. But you get the point. Yes, it was a screw job. It was a fix. Worse than the Jake Paul fight, by far.
And also, Will Smith is a phenomenal actor. I mean, what was it, last year or the year before? We actually saw him sit there pretending to cry as his wife was telling him she was getting mammy rammed by their own friend. But that gets him up and slaps him in the face when he's making a G.I. Jane
Will Smith
joke.
turned into a fucking bumbling idiot when he gave his awards.
Oh, it was bad. It was bad. It was a mix.
Anyway, we do have MMA. KaraFrance, Curtis Blades, Alexa Grasso. That was the three fights of note that I came away from.
Don't forget about Matt Brown now.
Matt Brown fight was my favorite fight of the night.
That was. Now, we all
easily
understand.
Fight of the night.
Yes.
All right, so I'm going to, for all the new listeners out there, new viewers, I like Matt Brown, but that fight has zero implications going forward. So while it was a very entertaining fight, it really was by far the most entertaining fight. Matt Brown did get screwed, I thought, right?
It's close.
I think he won the first two rounds easily.
I think Matt
hands
Brown
down.
won the fight, but nonetheless, there is no implications for Barberena or Matt Brown with a win or a loss in that fight. The other 3 fights on the card, which is what they typically do on these fight nights, is they put a fight on that will have title implications and maybe put somebody in the mix, which I think happened in all 3 cases with the winners. We'll just jump into the most important one because it's the heavyweights. Curtis Blaydes enters the heavyweight title mix with a second-round convincing win over
Chris Daukaus.
Chris Daukaus. I always get that name wrong. I get him mixed
His
up with,
brother is in the UFC too.
see, there you go. All right. That's not who I get him mixed
That's
up
interesting.
with.
I didn't
But
know that's interesting.
is he the only is there only how many other brother combos have been in the UFC?
Diaz.
Well, I knew that.
Diaz, there's a few.
Oh God. Speaking of Diaz. Perfect. I was wondering if I was going to get a chance to bring this up.
Uh-oh.
We have a lot of matchups going into this one because we have the whole WrestleMania thing. So there's a lot of versus in this episode. Did anybody see the versus battle between Nate Diaz and Conor McGregor on Twitter yet again?
Oh, they went after each other
They
again?
went after each other yet
Oh,
again.
God.
So there's
About
this whole,
what this time?
There's this whole storyline. This is not my joke. It's Conor's, guys. So don't cancel me. All right. So there's this whole storyline between.
Please, for the love of God,
there's
know
like
that he's just paraphrasing Conor.
Hugh Jackman and Jared Leto are like talking. I don't know if it's an actual thing in the works, but Jared Leto came out and said like he would love to play Conor McGregor in a movie about Conor McGregor's come up in the UFC. So like early Conor, 9 years ago Conor. And so Conor tweeted at Jared Leto saying, come hang out. I'll show you blah, blah, blah. And then Nate Diaz comes in and said, yeah, Wolverine's going to play me because I come in and fuck you up again. Or he said something. So Conor, in typical Conor fashion, doesn't give a shit. He said, no. We're going to have the kid who played Heisenberg's son in Breaking Bad play you because it's virtually identical. Very terrible joke, but guys, very funny as well.
Rough.
So Conor, you are canceled, my friend.
Yeah, that is
Thank you.
rough.
All right, so back to the heavyweight division.
Mhm.
Wait, you just want to swerve right back to that?
Absolutely.
Yeah, we can't really like. Do you want to give opinions on this? I mean,
No, and no.
no. All right,
Like,
so
no shot.
So Curtis Blaydes enters the heavyweight title mix for the 13th time in his career. Right? You got knocked out by Ngannou twice.
Yeah, but look, dude, I don't understand how a win off Daukaus, who's also coming off of a knockout loss, is actually putting him into a title contention.
Because the UFC heavyweight division is like
It's balls.
five deep.
Right.
I mean,
Right.
it looks like from what they were trying to make it seem that Blaydes might be fighting Stipe.
Yeah, which means that if you're fighting Stipe, who I deem as the heavyweight GOAT, if you're fighting Stipe right now, you would have to imagine that the winner of that fight is next in line.
You could
If
be
you
right.
beat Stipe right now at this stage of the game after a win,
When
I
are
don't
they
care-
gonna do the interim title? Because Ngannou's not coming back anytime soon. So
Well, that might be. That's my point. I feel like Stipe Blaydes might be tailor made for the interim title. They're not going to give Gon the title shot.
That's
or
what Blaydes
interim
was making
title
it
shot.
seem like when he did his speech. He goes, "I want to fight Gon for the interim belt." So it's like maybe the UFC already has
No.
Gon. going
I'm
for the
pretty sure
interim.
that you got that incorrect, my friend. I'm not positive. Don't quote me, but I'm pretty sure that he said he'd much rather fight Stipe than Cyril Gon for an interim belt because he considers Stipe the GOAT and he wants to beat the GOAT.
That was before they announced Stipe was there. He said Gon for the interim title.
So now he
Good.
said that
The plot
before or
thickens.
after. Either way, I don't think Gon gets.
Well,
any
yeah,
interim
because they
title shot.
announced
just
they
gave him
announced
an interim belt.
Stipe. They announced Stipe like towards the end of his speech, and then that's when he said, "Oh, I'd love to fight Stipe because the guy's right there."
Well,
I-
Right,
Stipe
right,
against
right.
Curtis
No
Blaydes. I
sell
guess that's
Stipe.
one of the fights at the top of the heavyweight division that the public hasn't gotten to see yet. I feel like they've been playing a revolving door. You know, you had the Black Beast of the world who's kind of like on his way out of the top five. I think he's firmly out of the top five now.
they
He
just fired
lost to
Hardy.
just lost to Tuivasa, but Hardy was he
I know, he was
did
never
his
actually
part
a
for the
contender.
UFC. He got on a couple main cards,
But
and
the thing is,
people got
though,
to see him get knocked out a few times.
the
That was
Black
it.
Beast beat Curtis Blaydes.
Yeah, the Black Beast did beat Curtis Blaydes, but I think that you will agree with me that Curtis Blaydes was controlling that fight through and through until the knockout. And when you have heavyweights, the knockouts, you almost have to give the pass on certain things. I think if they fight 10 times, Blaydes takes care of them.
That's
more
kind of
often than
been
not.
Curtis's story, though, even with
Agreed.
Ngannou.
Well,
Yeah.
Ngannou is a different breed.
Mm.
He hits a little bit different. So, yeah, I mean, Curtis Blaydes, I say Stipe kicks the shit out of him fairly easily because Curtis Blaydes' biggest claim to fame or his biggest weapon will be his wrestling. But Stipe has very good wrestling as well. And what he's most known for is much like a Liddell type. He could use his wrestling to stand on his feet.
Sprawl and brawl.
Yeah, the sprawl and brawl tactic. It's been age old in MMA. Liddell made it famous. Stipe, I think he could take this fight wherever he wants. And a lot of times wrestlers don't like to be on their back. So, you know, if Stipe decided to take the fight there, I think his grappling is good enough. But if that fight does get announced, we'll get further into that down the line. Other things that took place on the card, like we said, KaraFrance plus 350 or
340,
340 underdog, and he comes out on top, coming off of what I thought was his biggest win in his career against Cody Garbrandt, who, lost a little shine.
Another punching bag lately, man. I like him too. I'm a big fan of Cody. And
I've never been a fan of Cody, but I've always
Cody. I met Cody in the backstage.
I think Cody Garbrandt. This is a good topic. Most clean MMA performances that you could remember, like through and through. Not like a Conor Aldo where he knocks him out and he sparks him. I'm talking about like GSP Matt Serra, Cody Garbrandt, Dominic Cruz, like those fights where it's just like everything he did worked. That was one of the best displays of boxing and footwork that I've seen.
Is that when Garbrandt knocked him out?
It was when I don't think he
knocked him out.
It was like right before the bell or something like that.
No, that was against that was a different fight. This is a Dom Cruz. They had beef leading up to it, heavy beef, and he just completely put on a clinic. That was the peak Cody, but everyone else in the division started taking sauce and he didn't. And you see the downfall for Cody from there. But Cody, obviously, he's a fan favorite. He has that KO power. But KaraFrance stopped him. And now, who's the guy that even fought?
Askarov.
And he was, to me,
Askarov's ranked number 2.
I know, but that's how embarrassingly enough to admit that I'm just not up on the top of that division. Askarov is a guy that I heard of maybe 3 or 4 times going into this week. I never heard his name before. And when I see the names,
he's ranked second.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's a monster. He's a monster.
Yeah. No. He's, in hindsight, looking back at it, I'm like, oh, how do I forget this guy? But at the same time, it happened the other day too with Allen, the guy that Hooker fought. I just am not up on the lighter weights and the Europeans at that. I think COVID had a lot to do with that because nobody from Europe could fight in the States for a while. So it kind of pushed them to the back burner a little bit, and they didn't really get their names out there. That's my excuse for not knowing it.
I'm also going to use that excuse. Thank you very much, Chris.
Right?
As we call him, Casual Dave.
Shut your mouth over there.
I think it goes a long way to not try and sit here and talk about things that we're not.
Yeah, no, of course. We're transparent here, man.
I looked at it on paper as like KaraFrance is clearly going to win this fight when I first saw the names because he's the name that I know. He's from The Ultimate Fighter. He's come a long way since The Ultimate Fighter. You remember him? Right? Definitely improved his game a lot. But I'm a little upset because I would have loved to see that line. Because if I saw KaraFrance getting that much, that odds boost right there, I would have definitely jumped all over it. So
and he was coasting.
Shame on me.
He was coasting. It was the 3rd round where Askarov started to come into his own, right? He got the body triangle, which was tough. And he's on his back.
Does KaraFrance get the title shot now?
I don't know. They haven't announced that yet.
I mean, you beat the number 2 guy. The number 1 guy is Aljo. The champion. Is that the weight class that we're talking about?
No,
that's just even lighter.
I think it's
strawweight.
Strawweight's women, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
It's all right.
Flyweight.
Smoke more weed, Turtle. Smoke more weed.
Honestly, I think that might be the issue. I only smoked like 3 hits off Rob's joint earlier.
Oh man,
I'm reeling right now.
Yeah, it was a really good fight. When Askarov got the back body triangle, it looked like he was going to sink that rear naked choke in, but they were just slippery enough that KaraFrance was able to break the feet, get him on his back, and end the fight out on top.
Just keep going. And then after that, oh my God. So yeah, all right. So the card itself was good. It lived up to whatever hype you built it. I mean, they didn't. That's a problem. And I was telling a couple of my friends, I was like, the UFC has become so oversaturated, and I'm not discrediting any of these fights, but when you have it every single week from another town, it's not pro wrestling. It like these guys, like it's just, I don't know, man. It just it's a lot.
I look at it like this. The UFC does a good job promoting their main events, and that's what they're there to do. Like that's where the most of the marketing goes into that. And I look at that as almost the major leagues. If you make it to the pay-per-view, you make it to the main card of the pay-per-view, that's making it to the show. When you're in the UFC has basically its own feeding system within the UFC. So these undercard fights, you're fighting within the UFC, much like if you're a minor league baseball player, you play in the you're a pro player, but you're not necessarily in the show yet. I equate the UFC a lot to that because you have how many fighters they got on the roster? Close to 500, 600 fighters?
More than 500, like 500 plus.
Yeah, so 500 plus fighters on the roster. They got to give these guys fights and girls. They got to give these people some fights, and there's only one way to do it. The extreme fight fans will watch them all. I don't watch them all. I watch when my guys fight, and I'm going to be honest about that. But all the pay-per-views, I'm all over them. And that's what I say. It's like I'm here to talk about the things that are going to be on the pay-per-view next and who's winning the pay-per-views. Everything else is just like we're kind of sorting through it and seeing who the next contenders are, and that's what I'm looking for. We found 3. Not that they weren't known, but I think we have 3 new title contenders coming out of this card. So for that reason, it's worth it.
Agreed.
Yeah, this card was. This is the reason why when Chris always says Tommy watches everything, because you have a card like this where it's under promoted. You know, a lot of people like aren't going to watch it because they don't know a lot of the guys that are on it, or the heavyweights. It's just like, okay, so we're going to keep seeing that round robin.
Yeah,
you find these diamonds in the rough, which this.
Yeah, of course. You get
really
you
good.
do get some highlight reel knockouts. It is fighting after all. Rafael Fiziev, the dude, he put on clinics on fight nights forever. You know who I'm talking about, right? Yeah. And now he had to pull out of his last
I think that's
fight,
how I kind of really start to like Cub Swanson. There was a fight like under the radar about 3-4 years ago where he just
was it against Zombie?
It might have been. It might have been, yeah. And I'm like sitting there, I'm like, wow, man, this guy's unbelievable. But it was an under the radar card. It wasn't a pay-per-view.
That is such a fight night main event. Korean Zombie against Cub Swanson.
And now Korean Zombie's fighting for the 145 belt.
Right. So that's where we're at. Exactly.
I can tell you who really enjoyed the fights was my cousin Dean, because he went with Dina's picks and he won himself some moolah this weekend.
Oh, yeah. She did all right.
According to Google, UFC today has 689 contracted fighters.
After they just cut like 15 people too.
That's wild.
680.
Right, so that's nuts. We got a loaded show today, so we're gonna move off of the whole fight night thing. Hopefully.
How about a fight that happened outside the cage?
Yeah, that's what we're getting to right here.
Yeah.
There we go, Rob. I was about to do it and I forgot that.
So obviously this happens.
Rob.
All this crap happens. Like we would have talked. Did we not talk about it?
No, this happened Monday.
So
I texted you about it Monday night at like midnight.
Obviously we do our this show on Mondays. We get a text from Tommy D into the group chat saying like, by the way, Masvidal's getting arrested. And I'm like, wait, what? And
no, it wasn't even that. What we were talking about, just the fact that it even happened at that point. Masvidal.
Well, no, he said somebody's getting arrested. Like
no, I said Masvidal attacked Kobe. Masvidal and Kobe.
Yeah, like
Kobe
there was no details
at
that point. There was literally no details. There was one like choppy video of the Nelk boys, filming. Was it Bob
Mannery, the Send It podcast? Really? Yeah, so they put it out. No, I didn't set him up. They put it out there on social media where they were just like, "Hey, it's us. We're with Kobe." Blah blah blah. And then lo and behold, like almost as if like a half hour of time later.
Like
no, Miami's not big.
When you're down there, it's not that big. So Masvidal lives in Miami. If he hears that the guy that he wants to fucking kill is at a place that he knows where it is and it's by his house, that's what happens when you're street.
Yeah, well, he's street all right. He snuck Colby wearing a hoodie and a mask, which, by the way, he's like the most anti-mask guy in the world. So the fact that was kind of funny. But Masvidal attacks Colby Covington, yokes him up a little bit. But based off of the video that Masvidal decided to put out, like randomly as soon as it was over, like he looked a little roughed up too. So I'm assuming Colby got his licks in, just a little, not as much.
A lick,
maybe
like
one lick, one shot,
like a little abrasion on his eye, below his eye.
I think it's garbage. I wasn't in favor of it. Me being, I respect Colby more than most because of a personal relationship with the guy, or at least most of his team as well. This whole thing to me was just complete utter garbage, and I think that Masvidal got what's coming to him as far as the charge that he faced. The timeline is weird. Like it happens. And then Colby I guess when you get arrested, you have to press charges, right?
No.
Okay. So he got arrested and then I don't know. He's being charged
there is, you don't have to press charges to get somebody arrested. Like there's a crime committed, the arrest is made. To get somebody tried in court, you might have to have the guy press charges. If there isn't enough evidence, then you need somebody to testify. But if there's a ton of eyewitnesses and like people know what happened and there's footage, you do not need him to. It's like the prosecutor could decide to move forward.
He also snitched on himself with
That's
the video
true.
that he made.
Now there's a lot to be said about what's going on right now. There's a lot of fallout from it. Obviously, Masvidal ended up turning himself into the police. A day or two later, he was arraigned, pled not guilty. So obviously, he's saying that there's a whole other side of this right now. There was a couple Reddit users that did a deep dive on footage from that night and footage of Masvidal from that night and footage of Masvidal in and around that restaurant that night. And there is no footage of Masvidal wearing a hoodie. So Masvidal's team is now coming out and saying that that's bullshit. Show me the video with Masvidal in a hoodie. right? Show me the video of him in a mask. That could be coming from the Colby camp. I hate to say this, but could this also be set up? I don't think this is set up. I'm kidding. But there is a shred of, Colby is going to go completely one side. There's two sides of every story, one side, the other side, and then the truth. I find it hard to believe that you have all these social media moguls, these content creators, the Nelk boys. You got Colby with no security, by the way.
That's the only part I didn't understand.
Very foolish to me. That also indicates possible setup. Not that he was set up, that it was set up, right? That it was set up. And then the whole Masvidal not wearing a hood or having a hood. There's a lot of hearsay about what's going on. I forgot what I was actually saying.
Bob Menery taking the video.
Yeah,
5
all
minutes
these guys
beforehand.
out there with all this, it's a restaurant. I know that anywhere I go, if I walk down the street, if you walk down even your own street or any street in front of any store in any restaurant, guess what you're probably on? Fucking camera, right? So you're telling me that Masvidal and Colby, there's no actual footage of what actually took place so we could get to the bottom of this. Now, you have then the fallout of this is like the Khabibs, the Tyron Woodleys, the Malki Kawas, the Ali Abdel Rat Aziz. Am I allowed to say that now that we're?
Of course you can.
Yeah. So all these guys are coming out in support of their home team, Masvidal, but they're also raising some interesting points. It's like show me the videos, show me all these things that you're saying that he cloaked, he ran up in a hood, and from what I hear, Masvidal. Actually, that's not true. That's an older video, but I did see a video of Masvidal talking about on another podcast that he's so street, and that if you're really from the streets, that you're not really about shooting a fair one-on-one fight. You better just have a good sucker punch and a 50-yard dash. There is a video of Masvidal saying that going around the internet right now.
That's not really street. That's bitch made.
Yeah,
well, no,
I don't like that either.
I think that Masvidal is probably more inclined to speak on the streets than you or me. And this is coming from his mouth, where it's like, if you're going to fight somebody.
You know where I'm from, bro.
If you're going to fight somebody, he sounds like Tony Ferguson and Khabib. Oxnard. What is this Oxnard? What is this Oxnard? Oxford. He's like, no, motherfucker, Oxnard. But anyway, again, I smoked too much weed. What were we talking about?
Colby.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
We were talking about Colby.
That's it.
Look, dude, and here's the whole thing. So he's saying that Colby said shit about his kids. He didn't. He called him a deadbeat dad.
Never did he talk about his kids, ever.
I understand that, and now in hindsight, I do wish I could come up with what I was just going to say because it was very.
And he only said that in response
that.
to Masvidal saying that Colby was a deadbeat and wasn't paying ATT during his fight.
Look, end of the day, he didn't say anything like your kids, but now Masvidal, who, if he has like a shred of dignity when he has to face his children, and like his children are seeing that this guy is calling him a piece of shit father, and like he's involved with their lives at certain points. Like, I feel like Masvidal is well within his rights at that point to want to fuck his ass up. The way he did it was wrong. You get to get paid and fight in the cage. So you didn't train hard enough to do it there. Oh yeah. Now I know what I was talking about. You're not from the streets. Masvidal is. So if Masvidal wants to, what he was saying was, you don't get into a street fight with somebody in the streets because you have no idea what's going to happen. You might get shot. You might get stabbed from behind. So you just hit and run. And that's like real street shit.
Ooh.
Or you actually shoot somebody. So like, you get what
now
I'm
if
saying?
he shot him, okay, that's street.
Jesus
but you
Christ,
punch and run.
This is getting dark.
This is why we call it the Fight Factory, baby.
Yeah.
The last time I said if you shoot the right person,
You got banned from Facebook for 30
Facebook
days. So congratulations on that.
Without switching the graphic yet, because I'm still
Maybe the truth hurts.
Khabib then comes out and says some things about how the entire welterweight division should boycott fighting against Colby Covington, right? And Khabib saying all these things, and if you know who Khabib's manager is, right? Right?
I don't.
So it's Ali Abdel Aziz, right? And he's very famous for going on his fighters' Twitter accounts and posting things on behalf of his fighters, which I think has happened several times with Khabib, right?
Yeah, he's gotten caught too.
And I feel like he's caught right now. You think Khabib came out and said that on Twitter? In hindsight, I don't think he did.
Wait. So the manager controls their social media accounts?
Well,
certain ones he goes
like
on.
if you ask Khabib
outta
if you ask Khabib right now about a tweet that he made about Colby, he'd be like, "What tweet?
What
You
is
know what I
this
mean? Like
Twitter?
he does. What is this?
Send me location.
Right? So I don't.
Do
think
you want to allow Twitter to know your location?
I think because
I'm busy trading champions.
Ali represents Masvidal's side of things, right, and hates Colby because of the whole Kamaru Usman situation.
Right?
Does he actually represent Masvidal?
No.
No.
Masvidal's
But he represents
Kawa.
Usman, and Usman and Colby don't like each other. So I guess for whatever reason, Ali Abdelaziz has a very, very serious beef with Colby Covington because of just the way Colby has been talking about everybody, right? But he's been going at Colby on Twitter and then kind of caping up for Masvidal in this situation. And I think that Khabib's Twitter was hacked by his manager, and it's not him that's tweeting those things. And now you can pull up the graphic now. Now you have Candice Owens coming out. And Rob, what did Candice Owens have to say about this situation?
So she said on Twitter, coming at Khabib, right? Because Khabib said that nobody should fight Colby. They should all run away from him, not give him a chance to let him lose money. She said, this is so embarrassing, calling for a boycott. He's better go buy a pussy hat and join the NBA. MMA is a man's sport.
Boom, boom. Meanwhile, there's several women fighting in MMA. So I understand what she's trying to get at. It's just not a bitch sport. So you shouldn't really call out. First of all, Khabib's comments, if he did in fact make these comments, which is part of the reason why I don't believe he did, is very hypocritical, which we know Khabib could be a hypocrite, talking about
The whole Conor thing.
the whole Conor thing. Yes, well, that's what I was getting to. So you shouldn't fight a guy because he talked about your family, and don't let them make money off of talking about your family. Well, I have a very, very didn't Conor talk shit about Khabib's family?
Oh, God.
Right? So did Khabib boycott the Conor fight because Conor was talking shit about his dead father? And I'm not saying that like he was. Like, that's what Conor was doing.
He was
talking shit about his whole team.
His whole team, his bro, he was actually saying crazy things about Khabib's mom. Talking about the people from the mountains, and like Conor goes there.
Khabib didn't sneak and run. Khabib jumped the cage and started going after everybody. He didn't run away.
He
like
also hit on a bus. But
you're just
and then but he hit on the bus. I don't think Khabib was hiding on the bus. I think everyone in front of him was like, "You're not going out."
Michael Chiesa sued Conor for that when he got glass in his eye. Or
is that on the rundown?
No, but should have been. But anyway,
the MMA community didn't go after him. So
the MMA community, hear that, Rob?
Yeah.
Not to be misunderstood with the internet wrestling community.
No, because there's no dirt sheets for MMA.
Yes, there is. It's called Sherdog. It's called MMA, whatever.
Dude. So as you can see, we're waiting for the pay-per-view, guys. Next week we get the breakdown. Next week we get to break down like one of the best cards of the year, and I can't wait for it. But really, I feel like the MMA situation this week ran its course. We're talking about things that happened on Monday, and this whole fallout from the Colby Masvidal thing. Expect to hear a lot of this going forward on the show, because as details emerge, we'll give it to you. But
yeah,
I think right now a lot is up in the air. I do think that Masvidal is a scumbag for doing what he did in the way he did it. I do think that Colby's well within his rights to kind of do what he's got to do. I just want to see things come out in court, because it all will,
Correct.
This was Masvidal's limp-wristed way of having Dana set up another fight between him and Colby.
It's not going to happen, though.
No, I truly do believe that in the scope of things that Masvidal, I saw the frustration on his face after the fight. Like, he had an itch that he needed to scratch, and he was fucking punching Colby in his face one way or another at some point. And if he wasn't going to rely on Dana White to let him get the opportunity.
Right.
And he wasn't going to let Colby train for fucking 3 months and be ready for it. So that's what I think. I think that Masvidal, if it isn't a fix and it's not all about money, which if they do get the fight, then it is a fake fucking thing, because then it was to set up the fight. Because there's no reason why anything about the first fight lends to the fact that anyone wants to see them fight again.
Right.
It's going to be the same thing is going to happen again. But anyway, I'll pass it off to Dave now. We're going to go into the WrestleMania situation.
Yeah, man. Before we do that, I do want to let you guys know that this podcast, the Chop Sports Fight Factory, is being brought to you by Dudes Gourmet. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing our newest sponsor, and that is Dudes Gourmet. It's time to give the big seasoning companies the big FU. They've been lying to you for years, according to sources. They manipulate the numbers, round down the calorie counts. They're adding shit that you don't even know about without your knowledge. Dudes Gourmet is here as the best all-natural seasonings with no additives, filler, or cooking agents, just pure flavor. They have plenty of awesome seasonings. I tried a couple the other day with my breakfast. Put that right on my egg whites, man. I thought to myself I would never be a seasonings guy until I tried this stuff, and it's fantastic. They got the Sweet Baby Jesus. They got the Espresso Rub, the Real Steak Papi. I said it as good as I could on that one.
Conan would have loved you for that.
Totally. Everything minus the bagel. Here, fishy. They got things for seasonings for steaks, chicken, seafood, vegetables, you name it. You can put this stuff on literally every piece of food that you have. Put Dudes on anything. Gives it a little extra roundhouse kick to your meal. Follow them on social media right now, at Dudes Gourmet. And right now they're doing free shipping for orders over $50. Just use the code OSHIP. That's capital O SHIP. And visit them at dudesgourmet.com. And of course, I'd be remiss to not talk about my girl Jules over at the Feel Good Factory. This episode is sponsored by the Feel Good Factory, established in 2017 for high-quality CBD products. All products are manufactured in a Long Island in an ISO 6 clean room. They create everything from creams to gummies to pet products, which I know you said you wanted to use for your dog. Always third-party tested and curated with quality ingredients. They ship throughout the U.S., offer curbside deliveries on Mondays and Fridays. They're right out of Long Island, so it's very close if you're in that area, if you're in New York. Right now, if you use the code Chop Sports, you're going to get 25% off of anything that you want.
That's
on
amazing.
That is a lot.
10% off that a lot of these guys do.
That's a lot, man. 25% off is a lot. Call right now if you have to make a phone call, 888-519-1139, or you can visit their website, thefeelgoodfactory.com, or visit them on Instagram, The Feel Good Factory CBD. So those are our two wonderful sponsors going on with us here as we start the Fight Factory, the new regime, the new wave of everything. We already covered MMA, but now it's time, ladies and gentlemen. Like, this is the greatest time of the year. If you're a professional wrestling fan, it's WrestleMania week. And
look, I'm pointing at the sign.
yeah, look, the sign's right there. It's that way, but it's not. Right. So, but it is. We should definitely, I might do that in post. I'm not sure. But anyway, so it is WrestleMania week. The reason why we say it's a week is because, for God's sakes, they got Raw tonight as we record this. And I know you're going to be watching this and see, like, were we right on some predictions? Maybe not. But then there's other wrestling, obviously. Impact, AEW. 2
nights Impact.
Two nights Impact. There's everything. The Hall of Fame's on Friday.
MLW Thursday.
You're right over there. Okay. See, you can't do that to me. There you go. Yeah. You want to swallow that thing whole. But anyway, so big WrestleMania. Yeah, big WrestleMania week. The Hall of Fame on Friday. Saturday is the NXT takeover. Night 1 is Saturday night. Night 2 is Sunday. A lot to get into, but we should probably get into Raw first, as that's about to come. Guys, I want to ask you yes or no answer. Okay, I'll start with Rob, and we can look back at this and play it tomorrow to all the people. Is Cody on Raw tonight? Rob?
Yes.
Tommy?
Nope.
Chris?
Yes.
I think it has to happen. I do not think they sit there and wait till Mania for this.
How fucking annoying our group chat was last Monday, talking about it's coming. These guys has to happen for, like, if it was supposed to happen last week, it better happen this week. If I have to fucking sift through 48.
Yeah, no, I don't think. I think this is a bit annoying. I think the quote IWC, the internet wrestling community, already knows that it's a fact that Cody Rhodes is signed back with WWE. It's just a matter of when. You
saw it with Seth Rollins last week when he's like, "Oh, rumors are fun." When everybody was chanting Cody. Yeah.
So, like, everybody knows, the smart marks out there. They know, the people that are in the media know Cody Rhodes is signed with the WWE. Just a matter of when, right? I mean, it's just a matter of when they want to debut him. I think the go home show for Monday Night Raw is when you do it. You don't wait till WrestleMania, because if, let's just say, and I'm not saying that it's a pay-per-view anymore, because it's just, if you go on Peacock, it's there. You know, you don't really buy a pay-per-view anymore. But if you're a brand new wrestling fan and you turn on Raw for the first time, for whatever reason tonight, right? If you're like, oh, WrestleMania is Saturday and Sunday, well, I don't know, I might not want to watch this. And then Cody Rhodes comes out and then sparks a whole new something, then you're probably going to watch WrestleMania. That'll put you over the right edge to watch WrestleMania. That's why I think you got to do it tonight. Have to.
Are they doing something for the Hall of Fame Friday too for SmackDown? Or I saw something for maybe SmackDown's gonna be on Saturday or something. So maybe if they do Cody tonight, they can also announce him for Friday, which will go into Rampage and kill AEW.
Holy hell! I
never
thought
it's a smart thing to do. You know,
well, I don't consider this a war yet.
No, yes, I understand. I get that, but it kind of, puts them way farther more over the edge than
right. I mean.
This is the weekend
Rampage,
where
it's like
10. You have your foot on somebody's
late,
neck.
Man.
It's not a war yet.
There you
why
go.
Even start? Why let them build enough of an army
That's
to start
my
a
point,
war?
right
It's
there.
like take out all the competition early.
This is the biggest weekend in wrestling every year.
I have no idea what you guys are talking about, but fuck them. Take them out.
This is
AEW.
Oh, they're the most entertaining thing in the business. No.
Get out.
He's not wrong.
I mean, it depends who you ask. They haven't beaten WWE in any ratings.
Yeah, well,
yet.
I don't.
They're also not going head to head, man.
they're
No,
not-
that's true.
They don't
Yeah,
have
there's-
John Cena coming out once every
Yes.
7 months either. So when they get those types of guys, then maybe they will. Am I right? Am
You're
I
When was
right.
the last time John Cena's been in a WWE ring?
It's been a while.
Probably 7
I was
months.
actually there. It was SmackDown. It was a dark match. It was the night after
So you couldn't see him.
he fought
Oh.
Roman Reigns. What was that? SummerSlam or Money in the Bank? When did
So
he
it's
fight?
been a while. So he
Yes.
was already.
September. Yeah.
So he went already back to make Rainmaker.
So I was
Rainmaker.
right. I
Rainmaker,
just
him
said
too.
it hasn't been for 7 months, and I was fucking right.
Yeah.
It
Doesn't count if it's a dark match.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
anyway, it doesn't matter. All we know is it'll be interesting to see how they use Cody. Also, off the rumor mill, this is something that you have discussed before. Everybody's on this Omos train, right?
No,
Well, it's about to be derailed quick. So,
of course.
according to what Rob did some research, they're saying that Bobby Lashley will be back tonight to challenge Omos for WrestleMania.
Well, they already did the graphic for Bobby Lashley against Omos. I've already seen it.
Oh,
You're
no,
not
I
gonna-
didn't see
That's
it.
a fan. That's a
I,
fan.
was-
thing.
I just saw it this morning. No, but
Where did you see that?
I saw it last week, and I actually, who the hell did I text it to?
Obviously,
we're
it
not
wasn't
in the
us.
IWC.
This is
so
true.
We
We're
don't,
not-
we
we're
don't
not-
sit, we're not.
I'm not knee deep in the internet
No, it
wrestling.
was on one of the
community.
other Facebook, the Council of Commentary Facebook group that I'm in. I'm like, there's no way.
The what? The what?
Council of Commentary. It's
Tommy, how are you in so many Facebook groups?
And then you're never allowed on Facebook.
Yeah, like you have
It's rough.
30. Which count? Like I swear to bro, I was
I have
sending
15
invites out.
Tommy
I
D's
was
on my.
sending invites out the other day for one of the pages that I have. I shouldn't talk. I have 13 different business pages, one business, so I don't know where I'm going with that one. But
I don't know either.
I'm trying to share them out, and I get the T, and it's Tommy D Wrestling, Tommy D MMA, Chop Heads, Tommy D, Tommy D Pride Rules, and then it's just Tom D, then it's Tom D John, then it's John D Tommy. And I'm
God
what
damn,
the
bro.
fuck is going on?
See,
bro?
like, is it worth it to make a new
And I'm not even
Facebook
kidding.
every time?
That's the thing.
no,
I'm not even
because
kidding.
they flag it.
Bro, they even flag his like mock accounts now. They're like, no, we know it's you.
Anyway,
He has to like go to another internet.
Anyway.
somebody shared it was shared, and the
I
first
feel like it
thing I
was
said
fan
is,
made, but all right.
and the first thing, okay, it was fan made, but they knew that the match was going to fucking happen.
Okay, why are you getting mad at me?
The first thing I said was, "There's no way they're
They're going
going
to
to."
slap to sleep or
We're
what?
gonna
What's
have to-
happening
we're
here?
gonna have
Let's
to make-
do it.
We're gonna have to make a new account
Anyway,
for Tommy. We're gonna have to
I said,
delete
"There's
your
no way
blog.
they're gonna bury Bobby
receives a
Lashley
two-show
for
ban.
Omos."
They
Like,
give Tommy a 2-show ban. Right? He's gonna come back next week dressed as.
anyway,
So like Tommy, we know it's you.
Yeah.
they're
No,
not
it's
gonna.
not.
You can't bury Bobby Lashley for Omos. He's 7'5".
No. I
He's
thought
huge.
I think it's the other way around. I think Omos is going to be. That's it. They're going to give Bobby Lashley the push.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You can't bury Bobby Lashley for
Mm.
this guy.
It's tough.
Like it's wrong. So I hope Bobby Lashley does win. But I also could see Omos being part of that faction.
You don't have one
The
anymore.
Hurt Business?
I thought the Hurt Business was done.
Yeah,
If,
it
if
is-
fully derailed,
yeah, I think it's
Shelton
done.
Benjamin,
Yeah,
the
it's
other
all-
guy
it's all-
are
Yeah,
doing
but
their
what's
own
his
thing.
name?
But
So-
is anything ever fully derailed? Can't
No.
they just like bring it back?
Yeah, of course.
They
no,
you
will,
because Bobby
but-
Lashley's still with MVP. MVP could start a whole nother faction. How
Love
would you not
MVP,
want
man.
Omos in a faction with those two? Come on.
I met MVP once, 2013.
So
Well, you
for
were
all
Impact,
my
right? He was
MMA MMA
maybe.
enthusiasts, he's not talking about Michael Venom Page. He's talking about who?
Montavious
MVP.
Sorry,
That's what he's
MVP.
talking about.
Porter.
Anyway, it's
I'm
just-
sure MVP's fought tougher competition than Michael Venom Page. Truthfully.
Anyway.
Anyway.
it's crazy
Except
what they
for
did with
Lima, all right, I'll give you
Lashley
that.
because he was the champion and technically didn't lose his belt, and now you're just gonna throw him in there with almost to kind of have a good match when he shouldn't even have to do that. He should come
I don't know.
squash him, come Monday night, whoever has the title, let's go right now, and then bang, because that's what they should do. Give it
Yeah,
to the guy.
We'll see.
Well, I mean, he might not be healed from the concussion where he didn't get hit in the head yet.
I wonder if Chris
Fucking
Rock
writers.
is healed from his concussion where he didn't get hit in the head either.
So why don't we run down some of the action you'll see this weekend at WrestleMania? We can start with obviously what would this is an MMA show after all, and we're talking about Rowdy Ronda Rousey going for the the SmackDown Women's title.
Yeah.
Okay, SmackDown Women's title against Charlotte Flair. This is Rousey obviously won the Women's Royal Rumble this year. She got to pick which one she wanted.
did.
Yeah, and I mean, you kind of knew that was happening anyway. She gets back there, she eliminates everybody. She wants she wants Charlotte Flair. So now round table right now. I'll start with Chris. who wins this match at
Charlotte
WrestleMania.
Flair, come on. Ronda Rousey's a gimmick, and she's not even a good one. She's a bully in real life, and she sucked in MMA. I was never a fan. Obviously, she didn't suck. She didn't suck at MMA, but let's be real here. That was like tailor-made situation for her. The minute she started fighting real competition outside of Miocic Tate, she got the shit kicked out of her a couple times.
She lost 2 fights
and then bounced.
Gina Carano lost 1 and is becoming one of the biggest movie stars because of the fact that
what exactly are
she
you
was an
defending
MMA
here?
fighter.
I'm not talking about her business decisions. Ronda
He
made a
picked
lot
Charlotte
of money.
Flair to win the match.
I picked
So
Charlotte Flair to win a match. I'm not a Ronda Rousey fan. Never have been. I think she's a bully, and I'm rooting for her to lose in this scripted match.
where you, Jesus.
Well, it's obvious that he never watches because he doesn't know who the real
I'm
bully
rooting
is
for her.
backstage.
I'm rooting for her to win this scripted match. Jesus Christ,
Sorry, guys.
Chris, we're gonna have to have a talk afterwards. No, I'm kidding. Rob, you think Charlotte's walking out champ again, or are they gonna just strap the rocket to Ronda and let her keep going?
As a fan, I would hate to see them do that to Charlotte Flair.
Yeah, but Flair doesn't need the
I
belt.
understand that she doesn't need the belt, but it's about legacy and it's about that last name. It's about what she's
It's
done
WrestleMania, bro.
for
Like,
them. Yeah, but
to me, that's my point. You're right. That's why I agree with you. Ronda Rousey's like comes and goes when she pleases. She's there.
Well, she's back because she had a kid. So
yes,
she went away.
she was only away for
Fuck
like a year.
trophy.
But
She still would have been there.
All right. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but doesn't her contract have some stipulations where she could kind of call her shots?
No, bullshit. Hulk Hogan's the only person they ever let that happen to, and
Like
they'll
a Brock
probably never do it
Lesnar,
again.
for example.
No,
where
they
he
don't
kinda-
do
No
favorite
creative
matches
control,
anymore.
bro. No way.
Tommy.
So Brock's at every WrestleMania, at every event.
Yeah.
Ronda's at every event. She has to travel with the show.
Yeah.
Really?
He goes to live shows.
All right, then I hope she wins. There, you happy, guys? What the fuck you want me to say? Let's go, Ronda.
Tommy, what do you got? What do you got for this one, bro?
I want Ronda to win, but I know Charlotte's going to end up being the one with the belt because of all the stuff that you're hearing backstage, that she's like worse than her father was. Like,
What do you
her
mean worse? Like
legacy
who are you? Like who are you back there? So you're just going by who? Meltzer?
Diamond Dallas Page.
What about Diamond? What do you want to
Yeah,
say?
what about DDP?
He has some disparaging things to say about Ric Flair, the person.
So is every
don't know, like,
every
this is
Delta
going off the
airline.
rails.
fucking-
Even what's her name? Becky said like Charlotte's changed. So
Woo! All right.
okay.
Scared the hell out of me.
That's what I'm here for.
All right, so you're going Charlotte?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Charlotte.
I'm gonna go. They're gonna continue this rocket up Ronda's ass after the Royal Rumble. I have not. I know it has happened. Probably countless amount of times. But I feel like the majority would say once you win the Rumble, you go on the Mania and you win that belt. Like that's just like the story that keeps on going.
How easy is that though? Like, are they ever going to break that? Have they?
They
broken that?
have,
No,
but
they
like,
have.
they have very, very seldom do they break that. But they're not going to break it for Ronda. She wins this match. She's going to be the new champ. So
How
that?
is she going to win with an armbar? Don't tell me. Don't tell me she's going to armbar submit her.
Maybe make it some interesting shit where she doesn't win clean.
She does a weird armbar now. It's not like the one that you're used to seeing.
It's interesting
It almost
too
looks like a Kimura.
because Charlotte's finisher
So
is the
dumb.
figure 4 leg lock like Ric Flair's was.
Figure
So it'd be-
eight.
well, figure 8. Yeah, she puts her
Pushes
hands up. It'd be interesting if they would they'd never let Brock tap out ever. Would they let Ronda tap out?
Oof, that would kind of
You
crush
know what
her
I'm
legacy.
saying? I don't. That's what,
But
so
That would kind of crush her
I'm
character.
pretty sure Holly Holm crushed your legacy.
And you see right there.
welcome
that's
to the
perfect.
Fight Factory,
That's
ladies
perfect.
and gentlemen.
This is why I have a problem, like with the CM Punks, who he
Don't
faltered
bring him up.
in,
Nobody cares about CM Punk.
but he faltered in MMA,
Phil?
so they're trying to
Phil.
bill him as this big badass, and it's hard not to because nothing against Mickey Gall,
Bro,
but
Oh man, we didn't bring that
is
up.
it a requirement to wear MMA gloves in wrestling if you've ever once fought in an MMA fight?
I did.
and you never fought an MMA fight.
So that rules out the window.
But I got to go with Chris on it. Like, it's hard to book them as complete badasses when you've seen them
That is
get their
so
shit
funny.
kicked in.
All right. So anyway, what's next? So all right, no, is that what's next on yours? Okay,
because that one next.
Well, it was well now it's here, so now let's
Okay.
do it.
All right.
So obviously Edge taking on AJ Styles. Styles was obviously the one to answer the call. Edge concertos him the first go around. AJ takes a little bit of a break, lets the fans start to absorb the new Edge, which basically is just a darker side.
It's the rated R superstar.
It's you know what? That's a little dial back. This is a little dial back rated R superstar. He's not doing as much crazy shit. Like he's not having like sex on
I
camera.
was about to say no softcore porn.
Yeah,
in
no
the middle of the
softcore
ring.
porn with Lita. No. But anyway, so I feel like this match has really good build up because the match itself is going to bang. Like this match is going to bang. These are two of the greatest wrestlers. I would say AJ, one of the best to ever do it. Edge, right there. It's like 1A, like they're really, really good. And I think that this match is going to really carry. And it's going to really do well. And I think that they'll do battle. But at the end of the day, it's all about who you want to make going forward. If they really want to push this new Edge character, he's got to come out with the dub, Rob, right?
It's kind of who do you think they give it to? It's if you would have told me 4 years ago we were going to see AJ Styles and Edge, I'd be like, dude, you're crazy.
This was a fantasy matchup for a lot of people.
We can put it on WWE 2K. Maybe that's the only way you're going to see it.
Right.
We're going to see it Saturday or Sunday, and my head's going to explode.
Yeah.
Who are you going to strap it to? Who are you going to give it to?
I would have to say I know Edge doesn't need it, but again, they turned him again to do this. I think that's why he gets the win.
I think so too.
You
I think
know,
Edge picks
Tommy,
up
you
the
feel
win.
the same way, or
I do. I feel like part of me thinks AJ wins, and at the end they go to shake hands, and then Edge does the whole heel. He shakes his hand and then drops him to keep that whole
Never seen that before. in
persona
wrestling.
going. It happens a lot, but
he's so serious. It happens a lot, Chris.
it happens a lot.
He was being
but
sarcastic, but go ahead.
that's how I think they're going to go with it.
Okay. All right, Chris, you got
That's
an
the
opinion on this one?
WWE writer.
Do you even
way.
know who any of these two are?
Come on, bro.
I'm asking you a
I know who
question.
one of the two are. I'm going with
I'm the
Edge.
one who made the
I'm
overlay,
going with
man. I
Edge
know who they
because
are.
he's the one that I know.
Who are you going?
Edge.
Edge. Okay.
And based on the fact that like they definitely didn't turn him to not let him win, right?
I
You just said. I'm
yeah.
literally piggybacking off of what you guys said.
So yeah, let's go with that one. All right, what's next? There we go. So this is the interesting one. We don't even know if it's an actual match. Like right now, we know it's the Kevin Owens show. He's hosting his show. His special guest, Stone Cold Steve Austin. See, Austin hasn't fought in the ring and God knows how long. It's been a real long time. What was his last match? Was it against Scott Hall?
No, it was against The Rock.
That's
2008.
right. That's right. Is that right? Is that accurate?
No, it was
Oh.
15 fucking years ago.
It's been that long.
No,
Is it
it's
really?
14
2000.
years.
14 years.
Wow, I'm
WrestleMania
almost
8,
right
19?
again.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
have no idea what I'm talking about. And fucking
No,
3 rock
spot
bottoms.
on.
that's right. I remember that one. So
He just
yeah,
got out of the hospital before that too.
yeah.
Stone
So
Cold.
it's been a while for Austin. I don't foresee this being a match. I see this being a lot of shit talking, and then ultimately the stunner her around the world. I think, like I said, this is my bold prediction. I said this a couple weeks ago. They're in Texas. I think that there's some kind of screwy low blow where Owens gets on Austin a little bit and he starts pounding, pouncing. Doesn't hit him with a stunner. Just blah 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 blah. People think it's just a rap, and American
Give him that
Badass
old
Taker
Texas
comes out.
rattlesnake, if you know
I
what
hope
I'm
so.
saying.
American Badass Taker comes out, comes all the way down on the ramp of the thing, does the choke slam, and then finally Owens gets up and Austin's right there. Bang, 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 night. And then they both drink beers because they're both Texas boys, and that's how I see this playing out.
I guess
I don't think this is going to be one-on-one.
I think they're gonna have just like a shotgunning beer contest in the middle of the ring.
Austin wins that
All
10
day.
times out of 10.
all day long. I just don't see. There's so much money out there with that Saudi money. I think they want to see what Stone Cold has, even if it's for 5-7 minutes.
Stone
You know
Cold
what
needs
I
to
mean?
come out there and stun 11 people.
Well, there's
in
only one
3
to stun.
minutes. No, like there's gonna be nobody else could walk out there. No,
No.
you don't know. We have
Well,
no
he
idea.
did,
what
he
the
did
situation
stun
is
the
gonna
New
be.
Day. Remember that?
He stunned.
yeah.
He stunned AJ Styles. I was there like 2 years ago at Raw.
So it's there, but we'll find out. And like you said, Saudi Arabia has a lot of do-re-mi.
Bro, you ain't
You know what I mean?
bringing
So-
Stone Cold out for one stunner. He's stunning a couple people. That's my prediction for WrestleMania.
Okay,
How
multiple
many
stunners.
stunners does Stone Cold hit? I'm gonna say over under 2.5. Over. Slap the over.
Okay, slap the over on stunners. Tommy, how do you see this one playing out, bro?
I kind of see it the same way that you do. The Undertaker makes
And
Total
listen,
sense.
I'll tell you right now, I have no idea. Nobody's told me anything. I have no idea. I just got this feeling that it's like Owens is going to be completely, again, up for a minute.
This is the
and then-
Undertaker goes in the hall this week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's
like,
there.
Yeah, it does make sense.
Yeah.
like, he's
obviously
there.
he's gonna be there. It's WrestleMania. It's
And they bring them all out. They bring them all out on stage,
That'd be
right?
cool though. I
So
like
how
that.
cool would it be if Stone Cold came out and stunned the entire fucking Hall of Fame?
You know what? Though, honestly,
Must
if
see television.
he
really.
might still stun the Undertaker just for the fact that he don't trust anybody, right? That was always
I
the
don't know
Stone
about
Cold
that.
Chris-
You're not
Austin
starting
thing.
the fucking Hall of Famer. Stop it.
Chris, you should write for Vince McMahon because he would probably love that, and he'd be a writer. Vince
But then
love
he
his
would change
bullshit.
it to what Vince McMahon writes, and then it would be it. Because that's what Vince does.
Anyway, moving on. We're
so
all
Vince,
excited.
if you're listening, but I'd love to write.
So our boy Pat McAfee gets into a WrestleMania ring to take on Austin Theory, who has been dubbed Mr. McMahon's protege, his right-hand man, which I guess I didn't follow it enough to understand what the hell was going on when it comes to Austin
I'll tell
Theory.
you what, can I give my opinion? Whoever this guy Austin Theory is, whether he wins or loses, they're obviously looking to build him.
Yes.
Because Pat McAfee is a star.
Pat
right
McAfee's not winning this match.
now. No, he shouldn't. But my
Pat
point is,
McAfee is 1,001% winning this match.
whether I think Pat McAfee wins the match too, because I have no idea why else they would have him out there. But being that Austin Theory is going in against Pat McAfee, it's creating a different type of fanhood for this guy, or at least exposure, because Pat McAfee is the GOAT.
He is.
He's
He
my
is
goat.
absolutely. Yeah,
He's
he's
been
my
goated
go-to.
forever.
I just think it's the McAfee screw job. I think Vince is gonna come
Stone
out
Cold
there
comes out and
do
stuns him
something.
too.
Vince.
Well, not Vince obviously isn't going to hurt him, but that's Vince's boy, right? Austin Theory is Vince's boy.
Yeah, no, I know.
Vince
I
is
know.
gonna have his hand in
I don't
something.
think that Vince is going to entertain anything about entering the ring with Pat McAfee in it. If Vince is coming out, it's going to be with like the big dogs, in my opinion.
Okay. What do you got
This
over there?
isn't going to be like a gimmick match. I don't know if any of you guys watched
McAfee
that.
could go, bro.
Yeah, if you haven't seen the Adam Cole Pat
I just
McAfee
said
match,
he's the GOAT.
it's crazy.
everything.
Bro,
So,
he's
I
got a
mean,
crash pad literally in
Yeah.
his ring, custom built in the McAfee studio.
This is not going to be no
That's
easy
next for
match.
us, Coach, by the way. We're going to put a
I
wrestling
can't
ring
wait.
right in the
Hey, I'm
middle.
for that too.
What?
I'm
Can't
for
even
that
get
too.
the internet to work. You think this floor is going to be good enough for us to go through?
Wow, this piece of shit. All right. Well, remember that 2-show suspension? They're starting to 3. So you're out. But I think
Right,
this is going to be
Zuckerberg.
highly, highly entertaining. McAfee could definitely go. He's an athlete. And of course, Austin Theory is one of the most fastest up and coming dudes, and everybody knows that guy can go too. I think these guys are going to put on a show, and we're all here for it. I think McAfee's going to have highlight reels for years
This
to
is the
come.
first match in 20 years that I'm very, very interested in, because I just want to see McAfee out there and see actually how good he can be at it, because I see him talk about it every fucking day.
I got to
He
show
was
you. We got to
good.
show you this match. He had one match already, and it was actually incredible. So, all right, well, that's
I
that
hope
one.
he's as good as
Remember,
that
we're not
dude-
touching all the entire card here. I know there's a lot of matches under the radar that are going to be phenomenal, but we don't have the time for it. But now
I hope he's as good as the dude from Green Arrow was, because he was really good in his
he was
match.
wasn't that Green Arrow guy the guy in heels?
Yes.
Yes, right. So that of course he's what a great show, by the way. I can't wait till the second season comes out. So Roman and Brock, this is your main event. We will talk about one more match after this, just in case. But this is your main event of WrestleMania Sunday, so it's the last thing you'll see. It's winner take all. Both are champions right now, and they've been building it up as if the one guy is going to walk out of here with a unification of the titles. And by all, I'm a Brock mark by heart. I've loved Brock since Jump Street. But I think if you're going to really dial up a storyline here, I think Roman's the guy to do it. Like, he's going to have to probably win this one, I think. And really, because Brock's at the point of his career now where he's like, I'll put anybody over at this point. Like, what the hell? What do we got to lose? Like, he's still the beast. He's still that guy. Like, he's still, as soon as that music hits, you're in
be
trouble.
the highest paid wrestler on the roster,
Without
by
question.
far,
Without question.
right? So what does he care?
Right. I mean, believe it or not, at one point of his career, he did care.
Well, of course, because you have to, because that's what made him the star that he is now, caring.
Yeah.
But at this point, like you were talking about, he's looking like he's been wrestling for 20 years, and he has been, so it's time to kind of just
it's just his
pass
20th
the
year in the
baton a little
business.
bit,
So.
go collect your $15 million to.
How do you see this one playing out, Rob?
I'm a huge Brock guy too, and like you said, this is
As he wears a Roman Reigns hoodie, by the way.
I love Roman too, though, the tribal chief, for a reason. Roman got a lot of shit over the years, man, and the fans wouldn't go with him, and he's finally had a good almost 2-year
This
run.
is his best run.
Oh,
without question.
I think he believes he is himself. It's not a character for Roman now. And he's carrying this company to a whole different place. It's not 2 shows. It's people want to see Roman Reigns,
Right.
And I think he's gonna go in there and dominate him. I really do. I don't think that Brock's gonna have a shot.
Okay. You think it's like a domination type thing?
Maybe for the first 10 minutes, but you gotta remember this is like legacy for these guys. What's this, like their 4th WrestleMania? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just see by the end of it, when it's all said and done, you're gonna see Roman Reigns dominate Brock.
You think that's it too, Tommy? You feel that way?
Yeah, I mean, they've taken all this time building Roman the way they have with Paul Heyman. Then Paul Heyman went back with Brock, and then he turned on Brock again. Now he's back with Roman. I mean, old WWE writing would have Paul Heyman doing the screw job again, but
I think that Brock wins because of what you guys are all saying, and I think it'll piss off a lot of people if Reigns loses. And I think for that reason, pissed off people come back.
Either way,
Has it
people are
gotten
going
to
to be pissed off.
Has it gotten to the point where they're cheering Roman yet, or no?
They are. People are cheering.
Like, you know how that gets to that one point where it's just like, all right, we're tired of hating
there's
them.
a shred of, because even I don't know wrestling, but I also know, like, my niece used to be a huge wrestling fan when she was a little bit younger. And Roman Reigns,
Roman Reigns.
Yeah, she loved Roman Reigns. But every time I heard her say, "Oh, I like Roman Reigns," people would even give my niece shit. She was 12.
Yeah,
like, "Oh, he sucks." Like, you know, so I think there's a shred of the fan base was almost all on that side of things, like, "Oh, Roman Reigns," and now kind of appreciate the fact that he was able to turn the corner and kind of win over the fans.
Well, they hated the fact that Vince was booking him as the winner all the time. And I always say, I'm like, are you going to say no when the owner of the company is giving you a push? No, you never say no in the wrestling business because that could be your ass.
Right.
Nobody's going to say no to getting a push.
And didn't Roman Reigns get sick recently as well?
He beat cancer.
Yeah, so like that's my point. That definitely warms the fans' hearts towards you. I don't even know if I said
But
that.
He still got booed when he was
No. When he first came back from beating cancer and he was in remission, everybody loved him, right? And I don't remember where it turned or what happened. I don't remember.
Paul Heyman.
Yeah, he came back at SummerSlam. It was The Fiend and Braun Strowman. He came back and speared him. And then the next night on Raw or SmackDown, he was sitting there and he was like, well, I'm challenging next. And then they showed the camera to Paul Heyman. He was like, believe that.
And
And
that's what they
close
were
it.
saying he always
And that was
needed.
it.
Put him
And
with
that's
Paul
what it
Heyman.
was. But now, even now, like while he's by himself,
No, he doesn't need him.
he doesn't need him. His talking has gotten really, really good. He's that dude. He's got that swagger to him. You know what I'm saying? He looks the part. He looks like he should be main eventing WrestleMania.
Yep, exactly. 100%.
Roman has done his thing. Before we get out of here, there is one more match that's a hypothetical as of right now. But it is Seth Rollins versus Cody Rhodes. Now, I know that nobody actually knows that this is going to be a thing. We might not know until the day of WrestleMania. We don't know.
I know. Want me to tell you how I know?
Sure.
Because if
you made the graphic?
well, I did make the graphic, but also Seth Rollins is too big of a star to not have a match. The fact that he doesn't have a match at WrestleMania means that his match is this guy. That's my opinion.
Yeah, that's
it's just the writing is on the wall.
The writing on the wall. Yeah.
Would they really go into WrestleMania without a booking for Seth Rollins right now?
No,
he's not injured, right?
No, he's not injured. And I think he's actually, if I had a pound for pound, like Rollins to me, I know my ranking system is way different than a lot of other people's, but like at the top of me of performers right now, it's like, and I'm talking across the board of pro wrestling, and we could probably have a whole podcast or show about who we think is the best wrestler in the world. But like I have 1A, 1B, and like he's in there. Like he's in there.
He's
along
this generation Shawn Michaels?
Two
different styles,
to an
but
extent.
yes.
That's not a bad comparison at all. I think that it's Seth Rollins, it's Kenny Omega, and it's Dolph Ziggler. I'll fight and die on that hill that Dolph Ziggler is one of the best.
Well, yeah, because
Kurt
I mean,
Angle
how
won
bad
a gold medal, bro,
with a broken freaking neck, by the way.
He's the best
how
wrestler.
bad does NXT have to be to have Dolph Ziggler, who was a former?
I don't think it's bad. I just think that like they can't find the role for him on either two shows. So you're like, you know what? Go headline this show.
Go headline the feeder organization.
It's not a. I don't know.
I think. See, I look at that like this, right?
I think they're doing him dirty with it. I love.
No,
Dolph
I don't.
Ziggler.
I don't think they're doing him dirty at all.
yeah,
I think they're giving him something. And they're like, dude, listen,
shut up.
Listen. So it's a new show. It's a new brand, right, for them, kind of. And they're like, listen, because they had Mysterio's been on there. AJ Styles was on there.
They put everybody down there for a run.
They spinned everybody. Did you think Dolph was going to win that match? No way.
Yeah,
no,
right.
I didn't, and he did, and now look.
And I think
now
it's phenomenal. I think it's phenomenal for his brand, and he finally gets to showcase his skills. But if Rollins and Cody goes, that's the story that we're all waiting to see, and it's we'll find out about that. But so that's it, man. WrestleMania is right here. But before we get out of here, I know we had mentioned this last week, but we have to re-mention it this week because specifically for Tommy, who just disagreed with the whole sentiment. Now, remember, we have already announced The Undertaker, Sharmell. Today, the Steiner Brothers got I can't wait to hear that
They
speech. by
did
the way.
accept. They did accept it.
Yeah. So I can't wait to hear Scott
I was
Steiner.
about to say Scott Steiner
He's
is
going to do
be
some math on that stage, and it's going to be great. Like, you got a 42% chance of 55. Like, you just.
Speaking of Steiners, did you? I mean, they were talking. Did you know he didn't know?
I didn't know that it was Rick Steiner's kid. Yeah, give it doesn't give it away either. And I'm like, how did I not pick up on that? Like, again, like
sounded like the British Bulldogs kid right there.
Which is another.
He is a wrestler. Did you know
Davey
that?
Boy Smith Jr. is
he really?
Yeah.
beast.
Of course he is.
Beast.
just like his father.
He does look just like his father. I've met him and literally interviewed him, and he's a great dude too.
I can see the sweat beads starting to form on Tommy's forehead right now. It means it's getting a little hairy.
Yeah, it's getting a little hairy.
When you put 4
But
men in
speaking
this
of the Hall of
studio-
Fame, there's something that we have to address and something that we think should happen. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're here. I know, Tommy. Tommy's laughing off camera right now. This is officially something that we are getting behind 1,000%. Disco Inferno is a future WWE Hall of Famer.
Why does he
okay,
look like Phil Baroni? All my MMA fans out there, you guys definitely know who Phil Baroni is. all right?
Disco Inferno is going to get into the Hall of Fame, and I'm telling you right now, when it happens, the Chop Sports Fight Factory minus Chris plus Chris, whatever he wants to do, will be there for it.
Absolutely.
I think it's a great idea that we pledge our allegiance to one of the greatest mid-carders of all time, Disco Inferno.
Thank you.
I think Conan should get in before Disco because of what Conan's doing for the wrestling world with AAA.
Blah, blah, blah.
Well, he should get.
Hey,
it, but-
Gay, that's your boss, bro.
Hey, first of all, not my boss. Second of all, I would love to work for Conan again, and I think that me and him had a great relationship. We hit it off real well when he told me that I was not suitable for this position, and then I went out there and I did my thing, and I tried my best, and I think I killed it.
I agree. I don't watch a lot.
I
of
won with the Mexican community.
I don't watch a lot of Lucha Libre, but I watched, because
Did you watch it?
You were on it, but I thought it was really good. To be honest, I did. I loved every second.
I
of
really
it. So-
appreciate that, man.
So I mean, I don't see why not.
Wholeheartedly
I
appreciate
never
it.
watched
Love that
Lucha
for
Libre
us.
ever, but I could follow along when he was doing it. So
That's
give it a
great.
shot.
Well, I think you need to make a phone call because they have
And there
their
goes
WrestleMania coming up.
Velasquez off the top rope.
They have ropes in jail.
Anyway, oh boy.
I
Oh,
wasn't talking about Kane. I was talking about the
Christ.
fucking
You
luchadors,
suck,
bro.
Tommy. Anyway, that's going to do it for our go home show. It is WrestleMania week. Enjoy all the wrestling. There's literally wrestling every single night this week. I hope you guys enjoyed this show. Do us a favor. Like this video if you're watching it on YouTube. Do us that favor because that would mean a lot to us. And, of course, tell your friends, tell your MMA friends that there is a Chop Sports Daily every day at 11 o'clock. Myself and that handsome gentleman over there, Gooch, we do it every day, Monday through Friday, 11 to 12 o'clock. But we are testing this bad boy out for potential people to pick us up. If not, we will be, keeping it right here on our YouTube channel. So
Yes.
for Dave Sturchio or Dave Sturch, according to this over here, and then there's Chris Gucci. We're like changing names for shows and everything. Tommy D, and of course, thank you to Rob for producing this bad boy. And we'll see you guys next week. Enjoy WrestleMania. Let's go, Brock.
Free
Let's go,
Kane.
Free Coke?
Free Kane Velasquez, bro.
Oh.
The fuck is wrong with you?
Oh my God, bro.
Hit end or you hit end?